Okay, she is a famous artist. Have wrote numerous books. She wrote like 11 books.
No, 36.
36?
Yeah.
Excuse me, 36 books. She's been on numerous TV shows. She's from Serbia, from Belgrade, Serbia, as a matter of fact. Since I'm doing all the talking, why don't you tell them the books that you wrote?
I wrote 36 books about different things. Some books is about people who lives in America and who has some interesting story to tell me. Some books is about politics in my country. Some books about my personal life, and many books is about Australia, about Guatemala, about Mayo people, about Switzerland people, and many countries where I traveling.
So, what made you get into being an author to even start writing books?
I wrote books when I was very, very young. I started to writing because my mom pushed me to writing some poem and some story about our village. I born in a small city in central Serbia. I grew up without electricity in ground floor in a house, and we didn't have nothing. We have only to have fun and to paint or writing something and keep busy ourselves. And I started to write very, very young, but I published first book 1980, and my first book was bestseller. It was about some part of my life and about my son who was sick. And I started to be member of Association of Writers of Serbia, 1981.
Okay. Now, I seen somewhere that your books are published like in 3 different languages. Serbian, Croatian,
Bosnian,
and
yes,
Bosnian.
Yes, but I have several books translation in English. I have many books in Australia, who publish in Australia and Switzerland. My main publisher is Milan Pantic and Pantisag in Switzerland, and I have many books what is publishing in Poland and Switzerland, but most of books is publishing in Serbia.
In Serbia, okay. So, at what age did you start actually writing books?
I started to writing books about when I had 25. Before that, I wrote poem, newspaper articles, and I was big journalist in my country. I wrote for many newspapers, Čačanski Glas, NIN, Ilustrovana Politika, and many different newspapers. And I was a journalist and publisher and poet, but it is not for good money and for some good honorar or something. And I started to write book after 25, when I had 25.
Okay, now as an author to write books, is it easy writing books? Since you wrote so many, is it easy to sit down with a person and just say, okay, let me, write books? What's the process that goes into writing books?
You need to have big love in your heart. For everything what you like, you need to have big life and big love for everything what you're doing. And when I feel some energy and some love, that I have some feeling for something, for people what I'm writing, and for something, I just started to express myself, and pictures when I see in my head, and I'm not writing, I just painting by words and letters.
So it's like a canvas.
Yes,
so the page is like a canvas.
And everybody who reading my books, reading is see pictures. And I came here to California to write book about Lana.
Go right ahead.
About Lana Stefanovic and Svetlana Lana Stefanovic, who has very interesting life. Her life is, it was American dream. She was a millionaire. She had everything. She has amazing life and amazing love with her past husband, late husband. And one day when uh, economy dropped in America, she lost everything.
So why you telling us about your book now? We're not gonna even want to buy it. You just tell us about it.
Yeah, this is her story, and this is book what I going to do. But she didn't lose only her property and her money. She lost her lovely husband, and she started to be of millionaire to be homeless, and she wanted to die, but she took some marijuana and started to be some happy, and she saved marijuana saved her life. And but I talking about that because marijuana is California is legal. In my country, it is a very strong, and it is deep drugs. And nobody who taking it going to be in jail or to processing for drugs. But marijuana is some medication, and some people who has cancer, who has big problems, who need to take. And I not judge nobody, and I am not trying it, but I support everybody, and I like to tell story about now people who of country, of state when marijuana is legal, and about people who saving life and who taking marijuana for some reason to be happy, to be not in pain or something. And I got some many story about that.
Yeah, because being that I'm an advocate of cannabis as well. The THC properties are what get you, the euphoric feeling, get you high, but it's also it's the CBD aspects of cannabis that are the healing aspects, and that's basically what she was talking about. And it helps people with seizures. It helps people with glaucoma. My mother's a cancer patient. She uses the CBD, so she can eat, because she doesn't have an appetite. So I totally am, on the side of cannabis myself. Now, but getting back to your books that you wrote, you said you wrote how many books?
I have written 36 books.
36 books.
Yes.
So that's since 80 what now? You started writing books in 1980.
Yes.
So 36 books. Wow, that's like a book a year.
But this is sometimes is more. For past 2 years, I wrote 4 books.
4 books in 1 year. Wow.
I wrote last book is about Maya people in Guatemala. Mm-hmm. I visited many places where original Maya people live.
Mayan people,
and I wrote about natural medicine, mm-hmm. and I visited Tikal and Paten, where 2,000 years ago lived Mayan people, and who made very nice palach and highways and many and some tikal as church or some as something of religion. But this is some different of level of kind of level of mind. And if you have to be in some place, as right now here in California, we have different mind. Our mind is dependent of where we are and what time we are. And we think different here or different in Serbia. Right. In Serbia, I cannot talk about marijuana, and I cannot. But here, I took many different issues and recipes of some cookies and a cake about with marijuana, and I learn a lot, and I see that it is normal, but in my country it's not normal. In Guatemala, people who taking some medication is not normal. They tell me, I ask them, what you taking for overweight? They tell me, oh, it is easy. Take Garcinia Cambogia. I wrote. What is, how you taking some medication for diabetes? This is new illness. Diabetes. Right. And it is, this is easy. This is moringa.
Right.
What is, I heard moringa, but what is this? They show me some tree. And I took pictures and some little movie. And when I come back home, and they show me some garden when rosemary and where is basil, and one is some sage and many different herbs. And in my country, I learn about herbs a lot because I had 6 sons and I learned about that. But when I took research, I saw moringa. Moringa is natural herbs what help people about 300 different illnesses. And
moringa herbs?
Moringa herbs. And this is Ayurveda medicine in India also. And this is very, very different. And helping a lot.
Moringa.
And I like to try everything. When I come home in Chicago, in Serbia, I bought moringa and Garcinia Cambogia, and for 2 months I lost 40 pounds.
Wait. Yeah. So you said this helps for weight loss?
I lost, yeah.
Wait a minute now. Y'all gonna have to drop a couple of dollars in my PayPal or something. Y'all gonna start receiving tips on how to lose weight, y'all, especially y'all ladies out there, because I know that's exactly what y'all be wanting to know is how to lose weight. She just gave y'all the secret straight from Serbia on how to lose weight, y'all.
This is true, and this is for me is
Whole Foods store.
Whole Foods.
$18.
You can buy it.
18. This is $20 sack, y'all.
Yeah,
$20
for 1 month, $20, and you can lose 10 to 15 pounds for 1 month. Very easy, and you don't need any diet because when you're taking moringa, you're not hungry, and you don't need to eat too much food because you are not hungry, and just give you some energy and some to feel good and very nice. And I recommend many of my friends who has diabetes, and they started to taking, many of them not taking insulin anymore.
Insulin, not insulin anymore. She said insulin, but it's insulin because I've been with her for a couple of days. So I understand what she's saying. So, okay, go ahead.
Okay, I'm writing in Serbian language. I think in Serbian, and my language. I express myself in Serbian language.
Go right ahead.
And my broken English.
No. Let's talk about the healing properties of the moringa.
Moringa is very, very health, and American Association of Medication give big permission to take moringa, and moringa can to be selling in all whole food and grocery food, big grocery food, and can to be buy. Not one side effect. Check in the internet, see in everything, no one side effect, and 1 teaspoon is enough for 1 day. And this is the best for diabetes and for many different issues, for high pressure, for heart disease, and different things.
This even sounds good right here. Yeah. Right. Just listen to this. The ingredients it said could use. It says use a tablespoonful of moringa vegetable powder, 1 cup of vanilla Greek yogurt. I like yogurt. Um, it says 1 cup of frozen pineapples. I have avocado, pitted, of course, and a cup of almond milk, and a teaspoon of honey, just a little bit of sweetness. That sounds like it tastes good, y'all. I'm serious. You know what? I should blend some one morning and just let y'all and explain the taste of it and let you see exactly how it tastes. Well, you can't see, but explain to you how it tastes. But let's get back to now the books that you write. It seems like that you do a lot of research on a lot of the issues that you want to write or tackle. Like you said, you went to Maya. You went to Mexico and researched the Mayans.
Guatemala, yes.
Yeah, Guatemala.
Yes.
What are some of the other countries you visited to study?
I visited Australia and I lived with Aborigine people, and I wrote a book about Aborigine people and about.
Oh, my sister. Oh, Aboriginal people.
Yeah.
Come on now.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I visited Canada. I visited Native American Indian people, and I visited some area where they live. And I wrote and make some interview and wrote a book about Amish people and Indian people. I like some rural area and people who lost everything and who with coming some European people and took some land and took everything of Indian people and give them alcohol and some different things. They going to die slowly.
You heard that right. You heard that. Genocide is what she's talking about, y'all. Y'all don't know exactly what she's talking about? Mm-hmm. That's called genocide. Slow death, how you kill people? Wow. Well, so they totally eradicate the whole race, right?
Yes. And I also visited the Amish farms and the people. I took some Yavor syrup, some medication what they talking, and what was very interesting for me, they talking with herbs. When they put some seeds in the ground, they talking with seeds and talking with herbs.
They talk to the plants.
Yes, and to grow up easier and better. And also they have a time when they put seeds in the ground. It must to be young moon. Young moon. So it
Take that back. You said, what did you say again? Take that back.
When you put seeds in ground,
when you put seeds in ground,
need to be young moon in sky.
It needs to be a young moon in sky.
Because this is special energy for grow up seeds and as herbs. And they talking all the time about with animals, with herbs, with everything. They thinking that everything is alive. And they tell that it is herbs, animals, so even just stone or some stuff is alive because because everything when you cut you got photons, and photons is just moving and they're alive and thinking, and everything what we have has information. For example, this is your stuff what you're keeping, it has your information. And if I take your stuff with me, I'm going to keep in my body, in my aura around me, information about you and your energy and your vibration, and every stuff what we have around us has vibration and energy. And this is what Amish people taking and tell me, don't take stuff of anybody. Because if you take some stuff or clothes or some dresses, you keeping information of them or somebody else. And don't take never or some second hands or something, because you're keeping information of some people who died and who has illness, and you're keeping his energy and his information for you.
I've heard that a long time ago from a lot of elderly people, older people,
Yeah.
when I was young, is they always told me, like stuff that be on the ground. They tell me, boy, don't pick that up. You don't never know where that come from. And
Yeah.
I never understood exactly what they meant by that. But being that you told me that, what the Amish people believe, a lot of that comes from the Indian culture. When they say that they pray to they pray for the rain, or they pray for the sun, and they also name each other after different animals.
Yes, story what I got in Guatemala when I took research about Mayan peoples there. They told me that in 9th century, all some doctors and priests and some high level Mayan people left. Where they left? They left in some in another planet by his mind. And we cannot believe in the mind that you can to go and to pray, but all of when you're looking in some his pictures and statue and it is about meditation and astral projection.
Yes.
And when you thinking about that, we think that we are in some mind down of them, and that be some another old civilization before us has some different mind and different thing. And when you looking in big stone, when they build palace for them, we cannot understand how they bring and bring up to big stone in that time. And what it means that maybe they took some element and something of sky and make big stone
Levitate.
it's levitation.
I was watching this one episode of I forgot exactly what it was, but on I forgot which show it was, but it was the ancient Mayans or ancient civilizations, and they were talking about how they would use vibration for certain things. They had these horns, and they would blow these horns, and the vibration from the horns, they would all center around like this and blow these particular horns to vibrate the stone, and the stone would levitate up the hill or up the mountain. I was like, whoa, that's strange, and then you mentioned the same thing, and it's like, so to come from different sources on to astral project certain things either with your mind or with certain vibrations is true. They had a thing here where the Americans had a gun where they would use vibration to shrivel your insides and stuff.
It is some different kind of energy, but when I took research for one book about transcendental meditation, many years ago, I met Maharishi Mahesh Yoga in Salisbury in Switzerland.
Say that name one more time, please.
Maharishi Mahesh Yogi, who did transcendental meditation, and he had a big center for meditation in Salisbury in Switzerland, and they sell many Ayurveda products. And I saw many people who, when they have meditated, they have in position for levitation. It is up of ground without any reason, and what we had many years ago, and it was very interesting for me. But when I went in Australia and lived with Aborigine people, I see that they can to make visualization in my head, and they have only 100 words. They doesn't have sentences. They not talking it for each other to be too much to speak. They looking in your eyes, and you got pictures what they want to tell you something. If I want to tell you something and looking in your eyes, if I can to send my pictures in my mind, in your mind, I don't need to tell you what you want. You really see pictures in your head what I want to tell you. And they calling it is meditation. And for one group of people to another group of people, they just tell some very small sound, but for many kilometers, they another group of people hear them and they feel them. And also, if somebody makes some criminal for Copapida, they lived near of Copapida. It is Central Australia. If somebody makes some criminal, police ask them how they can to get who did something, and they took some thinking about place when criminal did and who did some stealer or some killer come back in place in this place when they did. They can to invite criminal people to come back in place when they
That's
did.
crazy.
And this is everything about mind and about energy of our mind.
Astral projecting.
And this is I didn't know too much about that, but I took research, and I was with them, and I have feeling, and they told me that I am first white woman who came to be with them, and I asked them why, and they tell me because you come to us with your open heart, and they want like to show me everything what they going about herbs, they going about something, and very interesting what I learned that when the people like to make love for pleasure, they started to dancing. Because temperature of body need to be under 100 degree and 37 Celsius degree, and then nobody cannot to make fetus or started to be pregnant, and everything need first to dancing, big dancing, and make body too hot, and then make love.
I wondered about that because I used to watch, National Geographics and watch the before the, I guess they call it the mating dance. They do it around the fire, and then they go and mate, with the ladies, But I always wondered why they did that. So they did that so they wouldn't have babies.
Yes.
Wow.
No.
That's great. So you heard it here, y'all. So if y'all don't want to have babies,
just dance before you make love.
Turn on some music. You dance around the room for about 20 minutes. You bust a sweat.
No,
and then come back and bust a couple more sweats. I'm just playing. Oh my goodness, that's crazy. I never heard that. That's wow. So so when you go around the world, you really do find that different cultures have different customs and just different just totally different way of doing things.
Yeah, I came here to hear her story, but I learned a lot what I didn't know, and always when I going, I learning. And when you listen somebody, you can to learn something. If you only explain yourself, you cannot learn nothing. And I like to sitting and listen and writing some and take some pictures in my head. And now when I have story, I going to write book and put some my pictures of my head in a story of Atlanta.
That's right. It's a good thing you said that because like you said, I Googled her. She told me to Google her, so I did that. And when I Googled you, the only thing that it really told me was, that you wrote. It said 11 books published. I think 20 published publications. You were in like multiple different libraries all over the world that I seen, but I never. It doesn't actually go into detail about a lot of different things that you explain that you wrote in your books, and that right there in itself it says a lot because, I have the pleasure of taking a picture of Lanya, who she is talking about, who she wrote about, and she's going to actually put me in her book. And that's a blessing because I'm going to be in Serbia or Bosnia somewhere. I'm not even going to be where I'm at, it can go, and that's a pleasure. And I truly, truly thank you. And,
but I didn't tell you I was a very high level political person in my country. In 1991, I was chief of staff of Minister of Military and worked for my former president Milosevic. And I lost everything because I didn't agree with war in my country. I like that we going to live in peace and be friendly with everybody, but in my country it did not expect it, and I lost everything. I lost my job, I lost everything what I had, and I started to traveling a lot after that, after 1991, after 1992, when I lost everything, I traveled a lot, and I brought a lot of book. I have written 36 books. And yes, maybe you got some website when I was 11 books, but now I really have 36 books.
Because it said you started writing books in 1990. That's when it said it started. See, Google don't tell you everything. Sometimes you got to hear it from the horse's mouth exactly what's happening and what's going on with a person, because you never really know exactly what's going on until you hear.
But I think that you read something about international court in Hague, in Holland, what they processing some criminal people who was in war in my country, and I was witness there, and many article about me is about my testimony in Hague in international court, and is many website, thousand website is in Serbian language. You cannot understand.
I know, because a lot of that stuff, it was like I can't read. Oh, these are books. Some of books you wrote. Okay. Yeah. Well, these are some of the books that she wrote, y'all. I'm holding right here. I don't want to be here too long. Yeah, they're all in another language. They're all in another language, y'all. I can't even understand.
This is book about my mom and what she teach me before she died. This is another book is about my testimony in Hague, International Hague, and what I wrote in 1991. This is book what I wrote about some Serbian hero in Second War. And this is about some millionaire Ratko Gajic from California who made churches Escondido and helped to build many church.
Did he do this?
This is he was traveling there, but this is only pictures and
that's in Brazil. That's that famous church in Brazil.
And I wrote a book about him and his story about his life.
Okay, well, you can Google her.
Thank you.
And let me interview you. She'll be going back to Chicago tomorrow, so that's why I want to interview her now. I've been hanging out with her for the past couple of weeks. I can tell you that she's great. She's a ball of energy. You know, all I can say is, I appreciate her hanging out with us, with me, allowing me to be in her book. Very fortunate. Hopefully I get a copy, when it comes out, so I can show you guys, and we're out, y'all. Love y'all. Peace.
Yeah. Thank you. Yes, ti pričala. It is better that you make interview with her because she is a